Good morning, good people of Christ Episcopal Church. I am here with our new, wonderful Lutheran colleague, Olive.
Hello.
And Elizabeth Hood. And today, folks, I am going to first ask some silly questions and then some very serious questions about Lutherans and Episcopalians, because we're already starting to get the question, how are you different and how are you the same? Or how are we different and how are we the same?
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
You just finished a master's degree in Lutheran.
It's true.
Okay, and I have a master's degree, though, kind of 16 years ago now, in...
So we should be masters.
Episcopal doctrination.
Okay.
Okay. So, if... here we go, folks. All ready? Number one. If the Episcopal Church was at Hogwarts, and the Lutheran Church was at Hogwarts, the Lutherans would be Slytherin.
Gryffindor.
And the Episcopalians would be Gryffindor. So why would the Slytherin Lutherans be so committed to evil?
I don't agree.
Okay. That's, actually, this is the same tactic my wife uses when I'm arguing like an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay. Are Lutherans considered to be Christians?
Yes.
Yes. And Episcopalians too?
Yes.
Wait a minute, we have two brands.
Yes.
Same religion.
And both Protestant. Yeah.
How's that work?
The only difference is country of origin, really.
Yeah, so tell me some about the history of the Lutheran Church and how you became the people you are today.
Well,
If you can speak on behalf of
all
the
Lutherans.
world's 100 million Lutherans.
Well, you should know there are lots of different kinds of Lutherans. And actually, Lutherans are one of the fastest growing denominations internationally, like in Africa and...
Faster than Scientologists?
Yes. Maybe not.
They're pretty aggressive.
But they're like our Malaysian Lutheran Church and our Taiwanese Lutheran Church are very fastly growing. So there's lots of international Lutherans. But over 500 years ago, a man named Martin Luther was in Wittenberg, Germany, and he did not like what the Catholic Church was doing as far as charging people for their sins. And so he read the Bible and he thought, hey, this is wrong. We shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be using the power of the rich and the wealthy to control the poor. And so he nailed 95 points of interest or theses to the doors of the church in Wittenberg and disrupted the whole Catholic Church. And used the printing press to translate the Bible into into German and other languages, and said girls should go to school at the time, which was revolutionary. And then the Bible was accessible to everyone, and then people read for themselves that what the church was doing was wrong, and it destroyed the whole system.
That kind of defined the modern German language for a time, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was the common ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what ethnic groups who came to the United States of America have represented Lutherans over time?
Scandinavians and Germans. Yeah.
And so then the real question is, do the Finns count as Scandinavian?
Yes.
These are fighting words in
Really?
Denmark,
Oh, yeah.
I learned.
We usually group them in with Scandinavians.
Okay.
Yes.
And are there differences between Scandinavian Lutherans and German Lutherans?
Culturally, yes. But we all worship in the same way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know, so my wife, Lutheran, her grandmother grew up in a town, Dannenbrog, Iowa, where the primary language was Danish and church was in Danish. Now when I look around, I don't see many Lutheran churches that speak Danish, Swedish, Norwegian, Finnish.
Yeah.
So how ethnically rooted is the Lutheran Church at this point?
I think it's pretty far gone. Yeah. You can find, I was just telling Melanie and Hannah that like in Palo Alto where I just was, there is like a Scandinavian Lutheran church and then there is a German church.
As there is in Alameda?
But you wouldn't know by looking at them or by their worship or by their pastor or by anything.
Okay. So that legacy is mostly faded.
Yeah.
The ethnic identity
Yes.
of a Lutheran church. Okay.
Yeah.
As it has largely with the Episcopal Church. We used to be the proper Anglo-Saxon church, and now we let anybody in.
It's good to diversify our churches and to not cling to our ethno backgrounds.
Absolutely. All right, Elizabeth, if you had to summarize the theology of the Lutheran Church in under 1 minute, could you do it? And if so, what would it be?
Yes, we are saved by God's grace and not by our own good works. And so there's nothing we can do to deserve God's grace. That is a gift that's freely given to us. But in that, it compels us to love and serve our neighbor.
Excellent. I remember slogging through the book called The Freedom of a Christian.
I have it in my office.
Yeah, in seminary. Oh, Martin Luther.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
a succinct
No.
storyteller.
No.
Folks, if I was to summarize Episcopal theology, first my wife would go, because we actually don't have much theology to hang our hats on. If you go to the back of the Book of Common Prayer, the theological section is about 30 pages. It's a catechism. And we say that we derive our theology relatively individually by balancing scripture, tradition, and reason or experience. So rather than a theology, we have more of a method for figuring out what we believe. And that gives some people a lot of freedom, but it creates a ton of conflict because everyone's experience is different. And so we derive different conclusions from the same Bible and the same tradition.
Not a lot of great Episcopal theologians.
Historically, no. Like, name a Lutheran theologian.
Martin Luther.
Martin Luther. Name another one. You just went
Andy
to.
Root.
You were just in Germany studying this.
Dietrich Bonhoeffer.
Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who actually did most of Luther's writing back in the day.
Melanchthon.
Philip Melanchthon.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. In the Episcopal Church, we got Thomas Hooker. No, actually, sorry, Richard Hooker, a theologian no one has heard of.
Yeah.
It turns out Queen Elizabeth would probably be our best theologian, but it's iffy. Today, though, we would claim C.S. Lewis. The theologians would not claim he is a theologian. We'd also try to grab Marcus Borg because he attended Episcopal Church and was married to an Episcopal priest, despite growing up Lutheran.
Ooh.
So we got that one. And maybe John Spong, a retired and now deceased bishop. There are others, of course, but no one's heard of them. Like the Lutherans have like the big stars.
Yeah, maybe you're just so humble.
We're so humble.
Yeah.
Definitely me, yes. All right, so importantly, if I was to walk into a coffee hour at a Lutheran church, what snacks might I find that would be typical of Midwestern Lutherans?
I don't know, because I grew up in Hawaii.
Man, come on.
I think like bars and like casseroles maybe. But at my Lutheran churches, we served like donuts.
Not very Lutheran.
But always coffee. Coffee is a must.
So one time I was having breakfast with my wife's grandma. No, I guess it was lunch. And she brought out a Jell-O salad. And it was a Jell-O mold with cereal and fruit suspended in it. And I burst out laughing, thinking that she was joking. Like she was doing a caricature of Lutherans. And I had to backpedal fast.
Backpedal real fast.
Hot dish, tuna hot dish.
Yeah, that's a very Midwestern thing. Yeah.
More Scandinavian too.
I guess. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Germans would have like broths and
brats and beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then the real dividing line between our denominations, of course, it becomes very clear when you look at fashion. So explain how Lutherans present themselves in a stylish way to the world.
Huh. I don't know.
Okay. On our side, I'm just going to go with Prince Harry,
Okay.
Prince William.
Very royal.
Yeah. Any? Princess Kate.
Yeah.
I mean, she is a stylish woman. Whereas you guys have like Little House on the Prairie.
Tim Waltz.
Oh, that's right. Tim Waltz
We have
is
the Midwestern princess himself.
he is a Lutheran.
Yeah.
And he will be, if I'm not mistaken, if he's elected, the highest elected Lutheran official.
Yes.
Of
all time.
Of all time.
Yeah. We're very proud.
That's fantastic. Also, he just seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy.
Although his language for Lutheran is a little salty.
Really?
Yeah.
I found out what church he goes to in Minnesota.
I hear. Holly was talking to their pastor.
Yeah.
All right. That this is the definitive explanation of how Lutherans and Episcopalians are alike, yet distinct.
Yes.
But over many seasons, we will continue teasing out this debate, and I will continue likely making a fool of myself while Elizabeth
maintains composure.
I was going to say maintains her dignity, but you are holding a bulldog in front of you.
I mean, the main thing is that we have more in common than we have different.
Yes.
Yeah.
We both try to love God and love our neighbors.
Yeah. And that's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah.
All right, on that note, can't beat that. God bless you people. See you Sunday.